Hello, I am Dr. Sonali and I welcome you all to CSE Core Concepts in the series of Foundations of Compiler Construction. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the loop optimization technique. In my previous video, we were talking about the code optimizations. So in code optimization, we have specifically discussed about its categories, that is the machine independent techniques and some are machine dependent techniques. Now, those techniques which are machine dependent, these techniques can be applied only after your target code generation. That is your machine language or what you call as a assembly language. And for that, we have studied one technique, that is the peephole optimization technique. So basically in the peephole technique, we work on small code snippets and we try to eliminate the dead code. So dead code is something which is not participating in your execution, or we try to reduce the strength of some operators by replacing them with lower strength operators and so on. So we try to eliminate some redundant code. So these are some of the techniques by which we can optimize our codes because they are consuming more memory and more power. Now we will talk about the loop optimization technique, and loop is what is a machine independent technique. Machine independent means it does not matter which register, which type of processor, which type of CPU you are using. This will work purely on your code, okay, irrespective of any other processor. Now since it is a machine independent technique, you need not do it after the target code generation. You can always perform it before generating the target code, that is immediately after generating the intermediate code. Okay, there you can apply the loop optimization technique. Now, why we need to perform loop optimization? Because if you write a program, you may realize that the major time is consumed by the loops. So if I am writing a loops, let's say for I is equals to for I is equals to 0, I is less than 100, I plus plus. So how many time this loop will be working? This is working for, let's say, 100 times, right? So if I am writing some code over here which does not have any effect, unnecessarily that code will be working 100 times, right? So we need to optimize our loops. So there are two methods of optimizing the loop. The first one is called as the code motion. This method is also called as the frequency reduction. That is, you have some higher frequency region in your program, and in our program sometimes we have lower frequency region. Higher frequency region are those regions where which the portion which is working more, right? And lower frequency means which is traversed only once or twice. They are the lower frequency region. So we should do this. We are going to convert whatever is in the higher frequency to the lower frequency as long as possible. But one thing has to be taken care of here is that the semantics of the program should not change. That is, the meaning or the purpose, what was the loop doing, that should not change in order to optimize it. Let us take one example. I have written one program where I have a variable a and the value I have initialized it to 100. Now I am executing a loop where I am saying while a is greater than 0, okay, so x is equals to y plus z. So I am computing the value of x. Then I am saying if a modulo x is equals to 0, then I will print the value of a. So basically what will it do? A is initialized to 100. So first time the value of a will be 100. 100 is greater than 0? Yes. So x is equals to y plus z. So this x, y, z, they are also declared. Let's say y is equals to 5 and let's say z is equals to some other value, let's say 2. Okay, so what is the value of x here? X will be 7. Then I am saying 100 modulo 7 is equals to 0. No, it is not 0. So I will not print. Then I will come out, but still I am in the while loop, right? Next time, what will I do? I am saying, let's say a is equals to a minus minus, right? So next time my a will be what? 99. 99 greater than 0, yes. Again I am computing x is equals to y plus z, which is 7 again. So 99 modulo 7 is 0. No, I will not print A. Then again I will decrement the value of A. I hope you understood what I am doing. But when I am doing it several times, is my value of x changing anyway? No, because I have declared the value of y and z, and based on that my x value is computed. Nowhere in the loop it is being changed, right? So, but you realize this loop will work for 100 times. 100 times this x value is computed unnecessarily, where the value does not change, right? So this while loop will work 100 times. The value of x does not change. So inside the while loop, this area is called as a high frequency area, because this area will be traversed 100 times. So it is better that if I could shift this code x is equals to y plus z outside this high frequency area, as it does not change during the loop, right? So that is a very good option of performing your frequency reduction. That is, you are moving this from high frequency area to a low frequency area. Second method is the loop fusion, or it is also called as loop jamming. You have to combine multiple loops together and by preserving the semantics. Of course, I told you that the semantics or the meaning of the program should not change. Let's say I have a variable I, of course, and A and B I have declared two arrays of size 100. Now for I is equals to 0, I is less than 100, okay, A of I is equals to 1, right? What am I doing? That all the values of this array should be 1. So how many times this loop will work? This loop will work 100 times. Second, again I am writing a loop where it will again work for 100 times, where I am setting the value of B array to 2. So this will also work 100 times. Right, what it is doing, basically it is not doing nothing, it is assigning the value of AI and BI. So instead of that, what I can do is that I can fusion these two, or I can consider these two loops together. So I can say for I is equals to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus. Okay, both the things I can write together. A of I is equals to 1 and B of I is equals to 2. Done. Am I changing the semantics, the meaning of the program? No. What was I doing simply in the program? I was assigning the values of AI and BI. That I have done. So instead of working for 200 times, now the loop will work only for 100 times. So without changing the meaning or the semantics of the program, I am fusioning or jamming two loops, and this will reduce the unnecessarily code execution. I hope you understood this. Then we will work on more techniques, that how can we still optimize our code or how to understand the loops. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CSE Core Concepts, and stay tuned for more such informative videos. Thank you.